Hi, this is Tracy from GiftBasketappeal, and today we're going to be upcycling this light bulb box into a really pretty floral flower box. So let's get started. So the idea I have in mind is to do a Mod Podge project with this and then add some flowers in the top. This is actually sturdy enough. The material of this box, it's very cardboard-like. And I had done one other project like this where I used the same box and I made a really nice arrangement. I think I gave that one to my sister and I will post that video below. But I am going to be using these napkins. And these napkins were sent to me, or I'm going to use at least one of them. These were sent to me by my crafty friend Barbara. So thank you so much, Barbara, for sending these to me. And I just wanted to show you how pretty they are. I mean, I can do gift tags. I can make the napkin cards out of them, out of some of them. But look how pretty this is. Look how gorgeous. So I'm just going to show you what she sent me. Look at this. This reminds me of these both remind me of kind of that shabby chic kind of thing. Look how pretty this is. I can really do some stuff with these. How adorable. Look at that. Super cute. And I love the soft colors. And I'm wondering if Barbara had ironed these because they're very flat and just so neat. So I'm wondering if she actually ironed them before she sent them to me. Look at this. So pretty. That blue and that pink, just those really soft pastel-like colors would make a really pretty project. Oh, and that's one of the backings that came off of one. Look at this. I'm thinking of using this one for my container. Thinking of using this one, so I'm going to set this one aside. And I love that writing on there. And these colors are just, I think these colors would look really pretty together. Kind of like a pinkish color maybe, with a darker pink in there, almost like a reddish, kind of. But I like those colors, and it has the Paris theme over on this side too. And look at the bird with the bird cage. And this is so cute. Kids are always adorable, so much you can do with these. Look how pretty this is. And this is really different too. I could either cut out some of these and put a backing on it and maybe put it on a card or a gift tag. Use it for some type of embellishment. Really pretty. And this one right here, I'm kind of stuck with this one. I like both of these actually. These colors are really drawing me in. This kind of reminds me of a shabby chic type kind of thing. So I may end up maybe putting this, maybe using this one on the box. It's got the blue and the pink. For some reason, this pink and blue really catches my eye. Or it might be this one. Or I can use it, either way I'm going to use it in a later project anyway. But I'm also thinking of using some of my my lace ribbon and possibly doing something with it too. These both would look pretty in cards also. Nice birthday card. Maybe putting it on here. Just so much you can do. So I just wanted to share this with you. Thanks again, Barbara, for sending this to me. And so we're going to go ahead and start the process of covering our container. Okay, so I guess what I need to decide is whether it's going to actually fit on the container since it's part of a napkin. Yeah, so these have been cut. So let's see. I think this would work. And of course I would paint this white before I start this. Looks like this would go all the way around. I'd probably have to cut off part of the edge, or if I paint the box first, I could either tear some of these pieces out and then put them together. So there's just so much I could do with this. So I think I'm going to go ahead and paint the box first, and then I'll decide whether I want to tear some of these pieces away. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mix my own paint, and I've done this only one other time because I didn't have that exact color. And so I love the way this napkin has it's like a soft off-white. So I am going to kind of mix my paint to see what I can come up with, just to kind of make that same off-white color so it blends in really well with the napkin. I decided I'm going to tear away the artwork on the napkin rather than cut it real neatly. I love that whole tear away effect. So I'm going to start with the white first. And so I'm just making up my own rules here. And I'm going to add a little brown to get that, just to soften it up a little bit. And I might have to keep mixing a little bit till I'm happy with what I did. So I'm off just a little bit of brown. I'm just going to take my paintbrush and just mix it. And if I need to add more white, if it's too dark, I can add more white to it. So this will be the base for my box before I actually end up Mod Podging. But I wanted to show this step. I don't think I showed it in the last video that I did similar to this. But I will post that video so you can see how it turned out. Oops. And I'm losing my paintbrush here. This is an old paintbrush. So I'm going to take that off, and I'm just going to use the stick here. And I'm just mixing here. See, if this doesn't work, I could always just use my other thing. And so that makes a little bit of an off-white. However, there's this other paint that I have. It's gold and it's glitter. So I want to see what that looks like on there. How would it turn out if I added this to it? I'm really curious. Oops. And let me go ahead and mix that around. I'm just going to use my sponge brush because it seems to, and I don't really see much sparkle in there. Let's add a little bit more. See, I'm going to go ahead and do it so that you don't have to wonder how is it going to turn out. Let's see. It says extreme glitter gold, and it's folk art. So I'm just mixing it up just to see how it looks. I'm really getting daring here. And like I said, I'm just making up my own rules here. So maybe the glitter will show up when I apply it. Now to me, this has a little bit of a yellow undertone in there. I don't think you can see it on camera, but to me, I just see a little bit of yellow. So I'm going to take a really soft yellow called Pale Daffodil, and I'm going to just add just a little bit in there. I don't think we need a lot. And I'm going to mix it around, see what happens. And I'm liking the way the color is coming out there. I'm really liking this, and I think I'm going to need more of the white because I want to be able to cover this box, and it looks like I may need 2 coats to cover up that artwork on here. See, it's pretty dark on there, so I may need to, I think I'm going to need to probably do 2 coats. And I'm liking what I see so far. And once I have it to a really, I'm not trying to be perfect with it. Once I have it the way I feel like it looks good and it matches, which it really looks good right now. I'm just going to add a little bit more of the glitter. See how that turns out. Extreme glitter gold. And I still can't see it. Maybe when I apply it, it'll come out. We'll see. All right, so let's start painting our box. Move some of these other things off to the side here. Okay, so let me cut, I'm going to cut off these sides here, just this part here for right now. I don't need that. And I really don't need this, but at least if I'm holding this, it'll make it a lot easier for me to handle this while I'm painting. I just need a small part of this to be on here. Okay, so I'm just going to go for it and see how it turns out. Let's see. Sometimes you never know what the coverage is going to be like until you start. And actually, this is covering this up pretty good. I didn't really think the coverage was going to be that good. And this is just acrylic paint I'm using. And I like this box because it's really a sturdy box. And this is perfect if you have those boxes at home. These are perfect for making little flower boxes for your shelf, your fireplace mantle, and you can tailor the color however you want. And so since I'm going to be Mod Podging those napkins on there, I'm going to want this to have really good coverage. I want to cover up all of the artwork, all of the original writing on this box, because I don't want it to be shown through. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll apply another coat. And then once I'm finished applying the other coat and that dries, I'll come back and we'll start to apply our napkin. Okay, so now our box is all dry. And I'm going to leave this on here because I'm going to be applying my Mod Podge, so it'll give me something to hold on to. So I just have to now pick out what part of the napkin I want to use. I'm just using some regular Mod Podge, and I'm using the one that's the glossy one. So this is what the bottle looks like. I know many of you are asking what type of Mod Podge, and this is actually so far the only one I've used, but there are different varieties. Okay, so I'm going to pick out the parts that I want to use on here, and I've got my Saran wrap ready to help smooth on my napkin. Helps with less wrinkling. And so I definitely want this bird cage. Let's see if both of those will fit on there. The bird and the bird cage. So I just want to kind of see where my artwork would fit, because I really like the way that looks. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and go for it here. And so I have to separate this napkin because it has another layer to it, but I'm going to rip it first. I'm going to rip this first, and I like to do this first because the napkin becomes very delicate. Let's see if we can get that butterfly in there. That would be great. So you see what I've got so far? I don't want the edges to be neat. I want them to be torn like, and kind of blend them in. Okay, so let's see what happens. So I have to decide whether I want that bird in there, whether I want to cut that part off or I want to cut that bottom part off. I definitely want the bird in there. See what happens if we rip this just a tiny bit. So here you get to rip things up. Kind of make your own rules here. I'm happy with the way that looks. Okay, so now it's time to apply it on here. I'm going to rip away just a little bit more. So I've never done this on a box, so you're seeing this as it progresses. I've never done this type of technique, I should say, on a box. But I will post the other one that's similar to this, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's just start with applying some Mod Podge on here. And I waited about 45 minutes for this to dry. One coat was enough, so I didn't have to put another coat on. So sometimes you just never know until you get started. So you just want to make sure this is good and covered. And so let's see how it goes here. I think someone had asked me if you can do this on plastic, and I think you can. I don't see why not. Just go for it and try it out. Okay, so I'm going to take my Saran wrap, and it's all balled up, and I'm just going to smooth this on going toward the edges there. And I'm just being very gentle. And I'm not going to worry about this yet. I can go back and I'll add some more on there. I'm just kind of just blending it out to the sides, and it really blends in with that paint. So don't be afraid to mix your paints. I just started doing it and it's so much fun. Okay. Got one side done there. Oh, I'm gonna like this. Oh boy. I'm really liking this. Could you imagine the amount of stuff you can do on different surfaces? I'm just going to put a little bit on here. And just be careful not to handle this with your hands. That's why you use the Saran wrap also, or the crinkle wrap, or whatever you want to call it, is so that it doesn't stick to your hands. If you do this with your hands, it'll start sticking and just won't turn out. The napkin will actually rip. So look at that. And see, like right there, I ripped some of the napkin, but that's okay. Just need to smooth it out just a little bit, but that's okay. We're just going to keep going. So the napkin is very delicate, so I just have to be careful with smoothing that on. Just like that. Okay, so I'm just putting artwork on the box. So could you imagine the amount of things you can do with this? I'm going to go ahead and rip up a couple of more areas of this and apply it on. This looks really pretty. The flowers there, I like that. We can kind of work those in on the side there. I'll have to try this technique on a wine bottle, kind of the ripping away and having something that matches it. Matching up the paint, I should say. Okay, so I'm ripping and peeling. And I'm just going to be applying it in between areas here, not overlapping. And this will fit perfectly right over here. And see, I'm going close enough to that part of the butterfly, but not like not right there actually, just close enough though, so it doesn't overlap. And so little projects like this, this type of project is great practice for like larger things. So you start on something small, and then you can actually you can work your way up and do larger items. You can do larger boxes, larger bottles, containers. All those glass containers like at the thrift stores. Could you imagine how you can just change the look of them? You can have a whole matching set. Just get yourself some napkins that you like. Look at that. That looks really pretty. Really pretty. Okay, let's see. I think I dropped my napkin here. Okay, I got stuff falling off my craft table. Okay, and so let's see. I definitely want this, and then I got this other side. So this is actually that front and back area. I do want this, I think this is my main artwork right here. So I'm going to take this part with the Eiffel Tower on it. I'm going to tear that away. This is so pretty. I'm going to get part of this on there too. And this napkin is a little bit longer than my box, but that's okay. I think this is going to work out good. Let's see. I think this will work out. I just don't want it to be too exact. I don't know if that makes sense. I like the whole ripped look on there. And I won't be able to get the whole tower on there. It's about there. Let's see. Just a little bit too long. Okay. Hope I'm not out of frame too much there. I tend to get caught up doing this that I forget that I'm not in frame, so. Okay, and I think this will work. And then once I have it in a good position there, I'm going to start kind of applying that. I want to at least have the top of the Eiffel Tower there, and then the rest could just kind of fall into place. And I'm just spreading it on here, smoothing it out. And that comes over the top a little bit, but I'm going to cut this off anyway, so it's okay. And I really want to try the, I know I've been having this on my list forever, the matte finish Mod Podge. See how that comes out. Where it doesn't have that shine on it. I would really like to try that one out. So let me know if you've ever tried the matte finish Mod Podge. And let me know what you think about it. Oh wow, that looks really pretty. Look at that. We got those 3 sides so far. Okay, so I can't wait to get the flowers in here too. I'm going to take some of this off of here with the butterflies. I love these words on here too. Okay, peel that away. And this is our 4th side, and you can go back and add in other things that you see on that napkin, other spaces you might want to fill in. And the Mod Podge is a really good sealer over the paint. That way you really seal that thing on there. Okay, let's go ahead and apply this part on here. I think there's one part that might overlap, so let me just. Okay, and let's go ahead and smooth it out. I'm just trying to spread it out, like the edges just go out with them. Ooh, I'm really liking this. Wow. Okay, let me let you see how that looks. Look how pretty that is blended in. Right, so you create your own artwork, which is really nice. And I think I need some kind of butterfly right there or something. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. So you can do that like little tiny pieces and still just apply them. And this, but look, now this, no one's going to know that this was a See, I already forgot. Light bulb box, right. No one's good. See, I already forgot. No one's going to know that this was a light bulb box unless you tell them. And now you've got a really pretty thing to look at on your nightstand. And you know what? I got so fascinated by this that I don't think I peeled the backing off of this. It still works though. Okay, so now I put another little butterfly on there. How pretty. So I am going to cover this entire thing, going back to where we started. Still a little bit damp, but I'm going to cover it gently with some Mod Podge. It looks cloudy right now, but it is going to dry clear. And I'm just doing this in one smooth motion right over the top here. And yes, it does have wrinkles, and I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Because whoever you give this to is not going to say, ooh, look at all those wrinkles. They're going to love the fact that you took the time to make them something. I am really loving this. That blue, oh my goodness, it's so pretty. Kind of a bluish turquoise color. I have to go and look and see if I can find some flowers to match that. We'll see. And I didn't worry covering up the bottom. No one's going to see it. Okay, we got everything covered here. So I'm going to sit that for a while and let it dry, and then we get to add our flowers. So just stay tuned. I know this looks cloudy, but it's going to dry really, really pretty. Okay, so our box is all dry, and look how gorgeous that looks. Look how pretty. Looks a lot better than it did when we first started. Look how pretty that looks. I love that. And look how it just kind of overlapped, and this is just a whole nother design there. The butterfly just right there in the center. So you just cut away your own little pieces. Now another thing I did, like while the camera was off, wasn't sure if it was going to work. I didn't see that glitter really showing up in the paint when I first painted on. So I took some of this extreme glitter paint. It's a glitter finish acrylic paint. And so what I did was I just put a little bit on a piece of paper and just put dab some on my fingers, and then just went over it, just brushing wherever I wanted a little bit of glitter to show up. And this looks really pretty in person. I don't know if you could see it. I hope you can. This looks so pretty. I mean, I didn't have my paintbrush, so I just dabbed it on with my finger, and it really enhances it. I really like the way that came out. So pretty. And I may go ahead and put on more, maybe do some little bits of this area here. But I wasn't sure how it was going to look, but now that it's dry, it really shows up. So you may want to use that separate rather than mixing it in the paint, or maybe even mix more in the paint. So we're going to start filling this up now, and I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to put some rocks in there. Just to weight it down a little bit. And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to put it in here. So I just have to decide which part. I really like the way this looks. That might be my front. Maybe. This might be my front too. Look how pretty that is. Those napkins really make a big difference. So I'm just going to take my foam and push it in there. And I'm not worried about filling up the sides. I'm just going to push my flowers in there and it'll work fine. It'll work out just fine. And so I've got some bluish flowers and I thought I would fill it up. So I may end up pulling some out, putting some back in. It just all depends. And this has some green in there too, so I'll be using some of that as well. These projects are so much fun. So I'm just going to start by putting a few of these flowers in, and I'll just go back and readjust. And if you want them high up, you can. If you don't want them as high, you don't have to have them as high up. If you want to be more condensed, I'm just going to fill these in. Got a bunch of flowers over here. These are some little mini daisies from the Dollar Tree. So I always have these on hand. And some of them I'm leaving the leaves on. Some of them I'm just cutting them off. Let's see. I'm not sure if I want to put that in there. Maybe because it ties in some of that other color. I might drop this right in the center, but then again, I may end up going back and taking it out. The nice thing is you can do whatever you want, whatever colors you like. You can switch them out with the seasons. It's just up to you. But I have a bunch of flowers that I need to get rid of in my stash too, so I'll be making a bunch of these flower boxes. I have a tendency to hold on to flowers too, so between that and getting rid of some of this stash and putting some stuff together, creating something out of it rather than it sitting around. And you can always make gifts. Always make your own gifts. That's another thing too. Challenge yourself to start making your gifts. I bet you can make a nice, a better gift than the store would have in it. Let's see what I want here. Kind of like that look. Let's see. Wasn't sure how it was going to look with this flower in here, but it actually works with the box and the glittery stuff. And after I finish here, I'm going to go and take my dog for a walk because he's restless and he's ready for his walk. Sometimes if you even say the word walk, he gets really antsy, like he knows those buzzwords. It's amazing. Sometimes I spell it out, but it seems like he knows how to spell too. Look at that. It has just a lot of floral stuff in it. I think these are hanging over too much, and I may go back and change that just because I kind of like the more condensed look sometimes. I'm just looking for a space here to push this in. So I kind of like the light colors with the dark. I'm really liking that. And I may go back and change it out again. I'm not sure, but look how pretty that is. It's just like a nice floral arrangement. And I'm going to cut some of this. I could already tell I'm going to go ahead and change this around a little bit. And it's okay to change it around. It doesn't have to stay the way it is. You can do whatever you want in whatever colors you want too. Okay, so this is just part of what I did. Just want you to see that and see how you can just change a container around and just make it your own. Move this out of the way here. Look how pretty that is. And I just pulled all the stuff I already had here and just put it in my container. Just all of the matching colors. This one is quite colorful. I hope you are inspired by this. I appreciate all of you watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends too. You may have some really crafty friends that you can get together with them and create something out of nothing. Just one more idea that you could possibly do that I remembered saying at the beginning was adding some of the lace to this. So if you wanted to, now that my artwork is on there, I can add some lace right around the bottom like that. And I think that would look pretty nice. Just adding a little bit of lace around the bottom just gives it a whole different look. Or you can put it around the top area. But I don't want to cover up my bird. Now that the artwork is on there, I don't want to cover up my little birdie. But that's how it would look around the top. So I just got so caught up putting all of this stuff on that I wasn't really sure. And so I'm going to go ahead and hot glue this on, and then I like it around the bottom. You let me know, do you like it around the top or the bottom or without? But I kind of like that. Look how pretty that is. Yep, and this is Dollar Tree lace ribbon. So I will post pictures of this at the end. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.